31 rounds of the World Championship. Today is the schedule announcement day for the 28 regular season races that'll take place in SMX in 2026. And we're so happy to do it right here in Cleveland, which is welcoming Monster Energy AMA Supercross back for the first time since 1995. Sport has grown tremendously in that amount of time, and it is great to go back into the markets and find tremendous growth. The last couple of years going into markets that Supercross had not visited in quite some time, places like Pittsburgh and Boston and New Jersey, Philadelphia, and really finding its footing. And we believe the same thing will happen in Cleveland coming up in April of 2026. Want to welcome a lot of people who helped make this happen, including the event in April and today's event right here at the stadium. Of course, the Cleveland media and VIPs who are on hand, the Cleveland Brown executives, the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, NBC Sports, the endemic media to SMX, the SMX League itself, and of course, Chomps, our mascot. Yeah, that's right. And wearing the SMX jersey. Never looked better. I mean, I know the Browns jerseys are cool, but we're down with a little bit of motocross. We'll get you boots next time, too. And you already got a helmet, so we're good. That's right. Maybe we'll get you on a bike, Chomps. Thank you. Yes. So we appreciate Chomps. Round of applause for Chomps. Great job. For those familiar with the NFL and the Cleveland Browns here, we'll give you the quickest primer we can on what SMX is. It is the coming together of two championships of what you'd consider dirt bike racing in America, but these are the premier series in the world. So there are 25 different countries represented amongst the athletes that choose to move to America to compete here. It's 17 rounds inside the best NFL and MLB stadiums in America. That's what we call Supercross, inside sports stadiums. 11 races outdoors on traditional motocross tracks. And then new starting in 2023, SMX, which is a 3-round playoff and world championship at the end of the year, taking the best of those Supercross tracks and motocross tracks together to form a world championship. And it truly is a world championship. We just wrapped up 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas, the 2025 edition. Jet Lawrence, 450 class champion from Australia. Joe Shimoda, the 250 class champion from Japan. So it's truly an international field. All the races, though, taking place again in the premier tracks and stadiums in America. And without further ado, we're going to announce the regular season 28-round schedule for 2026. There'll be 3 playoff races we will announce in January. But let's go to the video board to show you the 2026 regular season schedule.
In a world where speed meets grit, where machines roar and athletes rise above the rest, the stage is set. The season's pulse is about to ignite. This is more than a race. Cleveland, it's a battle.
Part of the game, gunfire and flames. I hear echoes of my name being called in a Hall of Fame.
Who looks good at the test track? Which riders have changed teams?
Championship rings and a trophy cabinet display.
All of that preseason talk stops right here, right now. It's time to bring the action. Made the crowd shake, made the crowd shake. We did it right that way, we did it our way. It's on!
A fight for glory, where every second counts, every move matters.
Oh, down goes Rock!
The season is here, the competition is fierce, and the finish line...
It's gonna come down to the final lap!
It's just the beginning. This is the Monster Energy SMX World Championship. Who will rise to claim victory?
Chase Sexton wins A1!
The chase begins now.
Made the ground shake, made the ground shake, made the ground shake.
Very nice. So as mentioned, Cleveland did host a round of Supercross in 1995. The sport was in a different place back then. Supercross, specifically running dirt bike races inside a stadium, was really a Southern California thing. The first race ever took place in the early 1970s at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. And really in those early days, the 1970s, 1980s, the big crowds, the big events really were California-based. They did try to go to other markets throughout the East and the Midwest, and the crowds were good, but they were never California level. San Diego and Los Angeles and Anaheim, the home of the Angels, is really considered the heart of Supercross. But as the sport has grown through the 90s, kind of riding the wave of the X Games and extreme sports and NASCAR's growing popularity through that time, sport really started to explode and then expand. And now the coming together of the traditional motocross calendar and the Supercross calendar together has taken everything to another level. Just as an example, personally, I'm from New Jersey, and I remember going to a race they held. I won't mention their NFL teams, but the NFL stadium there just outside of New York City. I was there as a kid in 1987 and 1988. The crowd was not good. The race went away. It didn't come back until the mid-2000s, and suddenly, from what was probably a 12,000 size crowd in the 80s, was 50 to 60,000 just 10 years ago. So that gives you an idea of the growth in these markets. And then the last couple of years, Supercross again going into Philadelphia, very successful. Back to New Jersey, as I mentioned, Foxborough, a lot of markets that weren't great for the sport in the 70s and 80s. It has truly grown nationwide. It's not just the California rounds anymore. And then to come back here to Ohio, which is already very rich in motocross and dirt bike and motorcycle history, but we are very confident that this time the stadium will be packed. And 1995 was a good event. And it was won by perhaps the greatest Supercross racer ever, Jeremy McGrath, back in 95. We actually have a replica of his motorcycle. That's what a 1990s Supercross bike looked like on the right. And then on the left, that's what a current motorcycle, that is ridden by Jeremy Hand, who is an Ohio native. We'll have him up here in a moment. That's pretty much Ohio's best of the day. So that's a modern bike, a 2025, and then a 1995 bike there, just to give you an idea of the advancements they've made. The new bike's probably about 60 horsepower. The old bike's probably about 40. As we said, they can jump a lot further now. So between the growth of the sport, both the international participants, we have a really young demographic that pushes the sport constantly on social media and YouTube and all the digital channels. It's really become global, certainly nationwide, and we look forward to all that growth culminating here in Cleveland. So we're happy to be back, and hopefully that's the first of many in this market. And there are going to be a couple of participants from that 1995 race who now work in the industry, a couple of team managers. So it'll be interesting to catch up with them and ask them when we have the race what it was like then and what it'll be like now. We expect it's going to be a lot bigger. So we're excited to come into the building, and we have a feeling that the folks from the ownership group here are excited as well. Let's hear about that. I'm going to introduce J.W. Johnson, the managing partner of Haslam Sports Group, ownership of the Cleveland Browns, to talk Supercross.
Thanks, Jason. I don't know, that video got me really excited. I will definitely be here for the race in April. I know I'll bring my 3 boys here, but that was super exciting and great to hear how international the sport is. And I think we'll get some great visitors here, not just from Northeast Ohio, but across the globe. Thank you all for being here today, and welcome to Huntington Bank Field. Haslam Sports Group, the Cleveland Browns, are thrilled to play a role in bringing such large-scale events here to the city of Cleveland and its community members. We couldn't be more excited to be working around with our great partners, such as the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission. Thank you, Dave, for being here, and Feld Entertainment for bringing such iconic events such as the Monster AMA Supercross Championship here to Huntington Bank Field in April after a 30-year hiatus. Hopefully we will not be another 30-year hiatus after this April. I want to thank Feld. Feld has been a terrific partner for bringing such great events here to Cleveland, including Monster Jam, and we're looking forward to continuing to bring other iconic sporting events and entertainment to Northeast Ohio alongside of them and the Sports Commission. Northeast Ohio has so many terrific experiences to offer, and we're excited to host so many passionate Supercross fans here to our stadium who will get to see world-class action and competition and explore our region that is second to none. For my family and I, we want to take great pride in helping bring in the city not only entertainment on the field, but also bringing our fans concerts, events, especially ones as big as Supercross, which create tremendous economic impact to the city, and it's a priority for us to continue to work to provide these great opportunities for our region and to work with our partners with the city of Cleveland and for the county commissioner. Really appreciate everybody being here. We're excited for this event. It's going to be a great show. Again, thanks for being here. And again, not another year hiatus, so hopefully we'll make this an annual event. But thanks again, and I'll kick it back to Jason, so thank you.
Thank you, JW. Now I'm going to introduce David Gilbert, President and CEO of the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everybody. Really big and exciting day. Announcing SMX League and World Championship coming here to Cleveland has been mentioned, but have to mention it again and probably again after 30 years. Really excited about that, and it continues to show the power of sports in this community. This is going to be a huge event for Cleveland. We anticipate probably 45,000 fans in the stands. 60% of those will likely be from out of market. That'll translate into $18 million in new spending in our community. We'll have 35 professional teams. We'll have 100 elite athletes. We'll have 1,000 or more other people affiliated with the event in town, plus all the fans, and they're going to be here staying in our hotels, eating in our restaurants. And that's so much of what these events are about. And there's also so many of these people who will continue to see Cleveland for the first time. And as we talk about, these bring a lot of first dates to our community and a chance to turn them into long-term relationships. We're going to see the best motocross in the world. Elite athletes has been mentioned from 25 countries that'll be seen here. And it continues to show that Cleveland is one of the top cities in the U.S. for the hosting of major events. We've got a resume almost second to none of cities in this country. And if you look at the number of events, the size, scale, the impact, Cleveland continues to be one of the top cities. And I think AMA is going to see how great it's going to be here. And, as JW said, we're not going to wait 30 years until the next time because it's going to be so successful when it's here. We know how to do it right, and we will make sure that AMA, that the athletes and the fans have a tremendous experience here. Big thanks to the Browns, long-time, incredible partner. These things don't happen. They don't come to our town without the kind of partnerships that we have. And it's why this city does so well. With Michelle and your whole team, we're out there together looking at things that make great sense for the community, how we can partner together. And this is just an example of one of many great events that have been held here at Huntington Bank Field and will be for many years to come. So I would just close again thanking AMA for trusting Cleveland with this event, and we're going to make sure that you do incredibly well and want to keep coming back here. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And for Supercross fans and fans of SMX, maybe not familiar with this area since there hasn't been a race in a while, this is a beautiful waterfront stadium at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just next door. So to put that together on our end, the racing side, we're going to bring up our own American Motorcyclists Association Hall of Famer, six-time national champion Brock Glover, to talk some history and what it means to come back to Cleveland. Brock?
Well, thank you very much. And we've talked about the fact that the history of the sport and coming back to Cleveland after 30 years is amazing. Thank you, the Browns organization and the Cleveland Sports Commission for doing that. We're all very excited. You think about Ohio, the fact that we haven't had a Supercross here in 30 years is such a long history of racing motorcycles in the state of Ohio. Later we'll hear from one of our riders, a third-generation racer from the state. The very first Supercross champion back in 1974 was from Lisbon, Ohio, so Gary Semix was his name. So there is a long history. Again, the fact that the AMA, we've mentioned the AMA, the American Motorcycle Association, based in Columbus, Ohio. That's where our Motorcycling Hall of Fame is located, along with the other great Hall of Fames here in the state, the Rock and Roll and in Canton, Ohio. So we can't be remiss if I didn't mention that. But again, very, very excited, and also using this venue as the launching of the 2026 Supercross Series and launching the schedule here and showing it to the public for really the first time. So again, I hope it's not another 30 years of fantastic, beautiful city, and we're very, very excited about it. And there was a mention, too, about the economic impact. It's hard to imagine, but it doesn't get discussed much, how many staff members and people that run these teams and are a part of the team that come into town and spend many, many hundreds of thousands of dollars in hotels and restaurants. And so it does bring a lot of economic benefit to the city of here in Cleveland. So we're very excited. So thank you very much.
As Brock mentioned, yeah, rich in motorcycle racing history here in Ohio. We're going to bring Ohio's best of the current day. Let's welcome Supercross racer from Mantua, Ohio, Jeremy Hand.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to be here in Cleveland. Like Brock said, I'm the third generation. My dad and uncle both raced pro motocross and traveled the whole series for many years. There's not many of us racers from Ohio. As you guys probably know, Aaron Plessinger is pretty popular. He's one that's from Ohio, and Cade Clayson. So it's a small group of us out there racing that's from Ohio. This year I traveled all the SMX races. I ended up top 30 in the points and made the final races. Had a little bit of bad luck at the final race in Las Vegas, so missed out on the big money, which I was kind of bummed. But, my main sponsor, as you can probably see on the bike over there, is Valley Automotive Group. They're about 20 minutes down the road, one of the biggest Ford dealerships in the country. They help me get to all these races, do a lot of stuff here in Cleveland, and support me for all my racing. So it's really awesome to have them as my main sponsor and be able to show them off here at the local race here in the Browns Stadium.
And Jeremy, you've been to some Browns games in this building, correct?
Yeah. I always thought about what it would look like with the Supercross race.
We're going to find out. That's really cool. Again, Jeremy, top 30 in the World Championship this year, and with better luck, maybe closer to the front if the final race goes well in 2026. Another person I'm going to welcome up is Bill Harris. He's the Director of Operations for Monster Energy Supercross. Bill?
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Well, we're excited to be coming here to Cleveland. We visited the stadium only a few months ago just to do a pre-trip and get a lay of the land here. And I'm definitely excited to bring Monster Energy Supercross to New Market. Last year, we were only 2 hours away in Pittsburgh, which we hadn't been to in quite some time as well. Saw a huge crowd there. The Northeast is rich in motorcycling history, as Brock alluded to. 28,000 fans in our Fan Fest, which is our pre-event function in Pittsburgh, 58,000 fans in the stands, and hopefully bigger than that here in Cleveland with more excitement. We'll see a draw from people not only from Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan, West Virginia, Illinois, Indiana, as well as hopefully some people flying in from further out in the country or even around the globe. We're going to transform this entire complex. Not only the field, but starting with the parking lot just to the north of the stadium, along the backdrop of Lake Erie will be the Fan Fest, which is a pre-event function for fans to come out for about 6 hours to meet and greet with the riders and teams, visit with our partners, Fly Racing, Monster Energy, Kawasaki, to name a few, and kind of get a full experience before they actually walk into the stands for practice and racing. The field, which right now is pristine grass, right, for the Browns, will be transformed with dirt. 500 truckloads or 26 million pounds of dirt will be pushed out across the entire playing surface out there. So you can see the track map up here to my sides. It's a very unique track layout here, purpose-built to fit inside this stadium. We have a 250-foot long start straight, which will be ever exciting as we watch those bikes roar down on the track for the first time in 30 years. Just to go over a little bit of the schedule, Fan Fest will be from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. That April 14th. Fans will come in. Again, they'll be able to walk around, see the team, see the riders up close, get autographs, meet with the partners. And then they'll also be able to go inside and watch practice and qualifying throughout the afternoon. 2:30 we'll bring our opening ceremonies, and then at 3 p.m. we'll have our first gate drop, and in almost 30 years, or over 30 years, bikes will roar down Huntington Bank Field, and we'll see some exciting racing that evening. There's a lot of value in this particular format here in Cleveland. It's going to be a Triple Crown event, one of only 3 formats that we run throughout the tour. And what it allows is we'll see the stars of the series multiple times throughout the night, 3 times in the 250 class, 3 times in the 450 class. So very exclusive, very unique format. Once again, happy to be here in Cleveland and bring the sport to a new market. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. That Triple Crown format, the traditional Supercross race, has one 20-minute race at the end of the night. There's only 3 events out of 17 that have the Triple Crown format, which is 3 shorter races. So Cleveland was selected as one of those 3 this year. So that'll be really exciting for the fans to be able to see that. Good job there, Bill. And you can see the schedule up on the board right now. That is, again, the regular season schedule of the 17 stadium races, Monster Energy Supercross. Then Pro Motocross begins in May at the traditional outdoor venue tracks. And the majority of the schedule is pretty similar to what the fans have come to know and love. The racing will start in January in California, work its way essentially from west to east, and then begin to head back to the west for the final rounds of Supercross, which means a stop in Cleveland before Denver, and then the finale out in Salt Lake City for the stadium tour. And then the motocross campaign outside will begin after that in May. So you can see the 2026 schedule right there. There will be 3 playoff races in the month of September. And again, we'll announce the exact locations for those generally in January when the championship season begins. That's when we'll announce the playoff rounds. But it's really exciting to have a Supercross round right here. And it all counts as part of that 31-round World Championship. And a reminder of some of the top athletes in this sport that will be competing at this event and competing all year long. That includes Aaron Plessinger, who Jeremy had mentioned, probably Ohio's best of the current day, from Southern Ohio, more of the Cleveland area, or more of the Cincinnati area, but we don't need to get into details there. He's popular everywhere we go. He's popular whether we're in Daytona, whether we're in California, it doesn't matter. There is no one that loves life more than Ohio's own Aaron Plessinger. Has the cowboy hat, the yeehaw, do it for Dale on the podium. That is going to be electric to get him at a race in his home state. And we mentioned some of the others, including Jet Lawrence, who's the current world champion, and his brother Hunter, who's actually second best, with 2 brothers consistently fighting for race wins and the championship each week, each year. It's certainly a dynamic that most sports haven't seen. That's so exciting to have the 2 Lawrence brothers from Australia. You have the legendary champion Eli Tomac, who's a 7-time AMA national champion, still at it, battling the Lawrences every weekend to try to hold the young guard down and try to do it for the 30-plus group. Also, Cooper Webb, who is the current champion of Monster Energy Supercross, a really gritty athlete from North Carolina. Chase Sexton, a former Supercross champion. That rounds out, there are 5 riders that will be competing this year that have already won the Supercross title and looking for another in 2026. Other stars include Ken Roczen, very popular rider out of Germany. Malcolm Stewart, he and his brother, James Stewart, is one of the legends of the sports. I don't know, the Lawrences might be eclipsing them now, but they're one of the best brother combos in the history of the sport. And then you go to some of our younger athletes in the 250 class, including Hayden Deegan, who is a sensation on the track and off, one of the biggest social media followings in all of sports. We were just in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. Again, I'm not going to mention the team, but there was an NFL team out there that brought him in and did a lot of media with him in preparation for that race. And he's a second-generation star. His dad, Brian, is a former Supercross race winner and competed here in 1995. His rival is Joe Shimoda, the rider out of Japan that we mentioned, is the new world champion. And a lot of other young up-and-coming stars, including Seth Hamaker, Jordan Smith, Levi Kitchen, Austin Faulkner, and a young New Zealand rider named Cole Davies, who a lot of people think he's only 17, could be the next superstar of the sport. So they're all going to be here in April. A really exciting time to have the schedule announcement take place right here in Cleveland. This is not something we do all the time, so we really appreciate the stadium and everyone involved with the Browns and the Cleveland Sports Commission for allowing us to do this. And we'll all come back up here if we have Q&A from the media for any one of us who have already spoken, and we'll take your questions. But most importantly, thanks for having us now, and we'll see you in April. Thank you. The panel wants to come back up so we can take questions. We'll have access to the microphones here, and if there are questions from the media, we'll take them.
David, what did you say? You said 65% you're anticipating fans coming from out of region?
We think about 60% based on the history of these events in other markets. And we're also lucky, if you saw, there's not much in cities near us. There's a few, but from what we understand, people will travel, if they're within a 6-hour radius, they'll go to multiple events. So we're excited about the number of people that will come to town.
And I'll just add, historically, we've seen that here when we're having concerts or other things, where it's not just people from Northeast Ohio, it's from all over the country.
And for both of you guys, Dan Beaver, NBC Sports, can you talk a little bit about the conversations that led up to bringing Supercross back to here?
Sure. Well, we've got a great team here that's worked on bringing events. Feld, who's a great partner of ours, they approached us. We said, listen, if we had the buildings available, we'll make it ready to go. And obviously working with David and the Sports Commission, they're a great partner of ours. We're going to continue to work hand in hand with them to find a way to bring great events here and potentially future venues in Northeast Ohio.
And I would just add, too, with the partnership, it's our job as a community to show why the event's going to be better here. And that has to do with history of hosting events, the types of things that the Brown Sports Commission and others can bring to the table. It has to do with just making sure that they have the right deal to come here. And it's I can't speak for you all, but it's when we do these, it's a combination. You have to really understand what that event's rights holder is looking for, and what's going to help them make that decision of Cleveland over other places, and how can we deliver on that?
And then specifically the placement on the schedule. It's towards the end. The anticipation will be ramping up, but also well into the off season for football to bring back or to bring some life to the stadium at that point of the year. What does that mean to you guys?
I mean, sure. Listen, it's a lot of excitement in April as we're getting geared up for the draft as well, and then having a big event here in the stadium. You know, it's a nice way to kind of carry into the draft and the excitement of the off season of football, and then obviously hopefully the Cavs and other teams will be gearing up for playoffs. So it should be an exciting time here in Cleveland.
Thank you. You got it.
Mitch with Racer X, Bill, for you. The Triple Crown format is going to be used for this race. Can you explain how the process is with that, picking that round? Is that kind of bringing a little bit of extra hype to this round since we haven't been here for 30 years?
Sure. Yeah, we look at the series as an entirety, and we have a lot of parameters that we have to go through with different formats and scheduling and TV time. So, I'm sure it's not easy to pick which 3 cities are going to get the Triple Crown format. It is exclusive. It is very unique to run that Triple Crown format. And I think that coming to Cleveland for the first time in 30 years definitely helps solidify picking this as a Triple Crown round. Again, it gives the fans that are coming here the most content of seeing the superstars of the sport. So I think it's going to be exciting, not only just coming to a new market, but also having one of the most exciting formats that we run in the series.
And just a quick follow-up, you do a lot of the behind the scenes with the track build and everything. You guys build the track, race it, and then tear it down to the next venue. Can you give a little bit of an insight on that process, kind of behind the scenes for the people that can't follow the sport as well?
Sure, yeah, and to the point of it being, in April, which is a very pivotal time in terms of weather in the Northeast, as we all know. Sure. We're hoping for a dry event, no snow, no rain, hopefully sunny so fans can enjoy FanFest out there. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. So it'll take about 3 days to bring all the dirt in, build the track, build all the jumps and the structures, and dress out the Brown Stadium to look like Monster Energy Supercross World Track Race Center. So it's a huge team that puts it all together, builds the track over the course of that week. We'll race on Saturday, and then immediately following the checkered flag that evening, we'll go to loading all the dirt and all the humps and jumps and all the banners and taking everything out and making it look like a football field again. Yes, very much so. Supercross itself is a very family-oriented sport, which, people see motorcycling and they think maybe not, but it is very family-oriented. There are kids' activities out in FanFest. Again, every kid wants to meet and greet their hero. I did when I was a kid. So we do see a lot of families come out. We try to make it as family-friendly as possible. There's the opportunity to come into the stadium throughout FanFest as well. So fans will ebb and flow back and forth from the parking lot up on the north side of the stadium to inside the stadium. So you have kids that are getting restless. You want to come in, you get something to eat, sit down. Exactly. So yeah, exactly. So definitely. He's going to love it. We understand the demographic of people that want to come see the events. We always want kids, right? We want the next fan of the sport to be there. And so we try to make it as conducive as possible.
And it's rain or shine?
Rain or shine.
hopefully shine.
Yeah, hopefully shine. Hopefully shine.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Thank you all very much. Appreciate everybody coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.